I'm over here enjoying some morning sun, just basting in it. There's a big cloud that just covered it, but it's like a humongous cloud, but the sun was just like shining, like doing whatever it does, whatever, right? It was shining. It was shining really nice, but I mean, I just kind of got a thought while I was meditating. Um, Delete social media if you haven't already. Trust me, it's going to save a lot of your time, and it's going to be the best decision that you are going to make in your whole entire life. I'm getting out of frame over here. Um, I've had, I've always been on and off about social media. I've had periods of time where I would just like delete it, and then I would come back to it after a week, or maybe after like 2 weeks or something like that. Even sometimes, even just a couple of days. But I finally made the decision to delete social media back in June of this year. July. Back in July of this year, I finally made the decision to finally get rid of social media. And I don't mean just deleting the application or anything, I mean deleting all of my accounts completely. So it took 30 days for them to actually delete, but I no longer exist on social media like Instagram or Snapchat. Those are the big two that I used before. I still use YouTube. I know that's technically social media, but I'm not engaging with anybody like how I used to in Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. I just like sending pictures of like, oh, streaks, or trying to text people on Instagram and them not replying. But I finally made that decision, and it was the best thing that I could have ever done. I had already experimented with no social media a year before. Um, that was the time where I had no social media for like a month, and it was pretty good. And then I came back to it because you have friends on there, and they want that you want to talk to them or whatever. And then I realized if they don't text back, if I'm the one who is constantly texting them, are they truly my friends? Right? That's kind of the thing. Kind of the thing that I realized. And I also had fear of missing out just a little bit. I was like, oh, maybe I should be on there to see what people are doing, everything else. And then I also, it was these limiting beliefs of like, oh, I might have people that I want to text there or something that I don't have on my phone. I just broke that limiting belief. And then I was like, oh, maybe seeing people and on their stories and what they're doing and everything else and seeing whatever they're up to. I broke that limiting belief too, because why do I want to see what people are up to? I can just ask them in person if they're my friend or anything else. And then my final limiting belief was that I would be bored just doing nothing, because I would usually just like scroll on shorts and everything else. And then I was like, how about I actually get like a hobby, or how about I actually get something to do? And that's what finally, I guess, unleashed everything. That's what finally made me make the decision to delete all social media, because then I realized, hey, I need to make my life a little bit more interesting. I need to not sit down all the time in the house. I need to, I don't know, read a little bit more, take up a hobby, do something, right? That, or just learn how to be bored. That's what I've been learning for a little while now. Ever since I've entered into school, I'm just learning how to be bored. And so now that I don't have any social media or anything, I even took a break of YouTube for like a week or two from my phone. I deleted it for a week. Um, and I'm learning how to be bored, which is one of the best things that you can do as well. Because if you don't learn how to be bored, I'm just putting my feet up here. If you don't learn how to be bored, you are going to suffer a lot in life, because there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to be bored as heck in life, and you need to learn how to be bored. You need to learn how to not do anything. Deleting social media is that first step. because then you don't have just, these little hits of dopamine of just like, oh yeah, I like this. Oh, it's every single time I look at my classmates and like the people that are kind of close to me, and I see them and they're always on their phone, just on Instagram, mostly on Instagram, and they're just, they're scrolling and it's like, oh yeah, this and that. And I see some of them on TikTok. I've been deleting TikTok since I've been deleting TikTok since like, I don't know, like 2021 or something. I don't like TikTok at all, and so that was kind of my first step. That was the gateway drug, I guess, if you could call it that. And after that, it's just been a downward spiral with social media and my relationship with it. And finally, I took matters into my own hands in July, and then I finally deleted it. And then I realized that life is so much more simpler without social media. I mean, I'm literally over here. I'm just chilling. It's 40-degree weather, but I don't care. I have a hoodie on, right? I'm over here chilling. I'm meditating under the sun over here, You can hear the birds, right? They're chirping. You can even hear like crickets and everything else. And I'm just chilling here. I'm just enjoying. I'm just absorbing nature. Doesn't that sound amazing? Just to be out here, be in the stillness, be in the calm of nature, even if there is a little bit of wind, which it is a little bit windy right now, but it's teaching you how to be still. It's teaching me how to be still. And I'm even reading a book on it. Stillness is Key by Ryan Holiday. Without social media, without this big bustling nature of the online that I have, or that the online has, having it on my phone, it makes life so much more simpler. I don't have to be paying attention to, did somebody message me? Oh, what's this person up to? All this stuff. Because I have a pretty obsessive nature, right? And I'd rather use that obsessive nature for something good, right? I'd rather be obsessed with nature instead of having an obsessive nature over other people. Because nature is a good thing. I mean, you just see all this green. You hear the wind. You hear the birds chirping. You hear the crickets. You hear all the animals skittering around the place. And you see, we even have a little garden over there. We have like cucumbers and those big stalks over there. No, hold on. Ah! Those big stalks over there. Those are corn. So pretty much what I could do is that I could take one of those, not eat it right away, but it's corn, right? But I can take, why is this thing not focusing on me? I can take some of the cucumbers there, right? I could just eat it like a madman, right? Like the madman that I am. There's even like squashes and everything. There's tomatoes. How much more exciting is that than being on social media, just looking at a bunch of shorts and maybe even feeling a little bit of envy, a little bit of jealousy for these people, for their, their exciting lives, right? Because these people don't have exciting lives. They just post the highlights of their day. The most exciting thing of their day, that thing that they post on their story or whatever, might be the only thing that they do that whole day, right? Which is kind of sad. When you have no social media, you find that every single little thing in your day is exciting. Like journaling. When it comes time to journaling, that's an exciting thing. When I'm out here just looking at the sun, just absorbing, just meditating, that's pretty exciting for me. Just hearing all the birds and everything else, just enjoying nature like how my ancestors did. I'm probably making my ancestors proud right now. I don't know if they're watching, but they're probably not. They're dead. But you see, it's this fun thing where you start to think about other things when you're not so preoccupied about what other people are doing, right? To the point where you're thinking about, your ancestors are looking down on you with respect for you being outside in the world where everything is inside, right? Your mindset starts to change. You start to feel more happier. Everything starts to taste better. Ever since, and I think that might just be because of my diet and everything, but everything just tastes better. Like vegetables. Like I used to be a very picky eater, vegetables didn't taste good before, but now they do. Like, I tried eggplant for the first time the other day, and it tasted really nice. Like, just add a little bit of, like, Cajun seasoning. That's what my mom did. Just add a little bit of Cajun seasoning. And, bro, it's really good. With a little bit of olive oil, just throw it on the grill, and it's just, like, super creamy, like, I don't know if I could describe it as green, but it's creamy, right? But it's not a bad type of creamy. It tastes like a vegetable, but it's creamy and it tastes good. So, and then you also start to enjoy the little things like eating eggplant, right? You start to enjoy, instead of shorts being your little things that you enjoy, those little hits of dopamine, everything else in life, like taking a sip of water, talking to your parents, talking to a friend even, exchanging nods with another person, those little things make you happy. Those little things put a smile on your face. Even just hearing the birds and the crickets and feeling the wind and seeing the sun, those little things start to make you happy. Those things become your little shorts throughout the day. And the thing is that these things are the most healthiest things that you could ever experience, that a human being could ever experience. What are shorts? They're just little micro bits of videos of people or whatever, right? I literally have a person that I know who it was a couple weeks ago. No, it was a month ago. I was eating lunch. He was sitting right next to me, and bro was watching one of my videos while I was right next to him, and I told him, bro, I'm literally right next to you. Why are you watching one of my videos? Like, you could literally be talking to me. And he just looked at me like I don't even know. But it's crazy, like how everybody's just on the internet all the time. The internet is a very hostile place. It's a very unhealthy place to be in. And I'm not saying that I'm one of these like big gurus or whatever of like, oh, I'm never on the internet, because I cope. I still go on the internet sometimes, but not as much as I used to. But deleting social media is that first part. All those shorts, all these little TikToks, all these things like, oh, you look like a little monkey, just, like getting your little fill of dopamine or whatever. Your little monkey brain. You need to destroy that little monkey brain. You have to actually use your own brain. The monk brain, as Jay Shetty put. Like, literally, I was in gym class in school. That same guy who was watching one of my videos while I was literally, hey, look, a bee. I'm getting distracted. One of those, with the same guy, right? I was sitting right next to him. I was getting dressed and everything, right? He was on his phone. He had already gotten dressed and everything. And he was watching some shorts, right, on Instagram. And I saw one of them, and it was like, those ones that are just, it shows like people partying and drinking and, doing all this degenerate stuff. And then it cuts to, or it says, like, the caption says what they're doing. And then it cuts to a guy just like working out and doing everything what I'm doing. So he saw that video, and then he liked it, and then he like quickly swiped up, and I was like, bro, like, I literally started to make fun of him in that moment. And I don't feel bad for making fun of him, right? Because first things first, he should have deleted social media, but he doesn't want to. I asked him, I was like, hey, you're gonna delete social media? Like, do you ever feel like deleting Instagram, Snapchat? And he was like, no, I like it. And I'm like, okay. Right? Life is not about like liking things that you do. Life is about doing the things that are good for you, right? It's not about life is not about feeling good. It's about doing good and being good. It's not about always just, getting the next hit of dopamine, or that's hedonism, right? That's valuing happiness over everything else. But happiness isn't the solution to everything. Sometimes it takes a little bit of grit, a little bit of strength, a little bit of, they don't know me, son. Who's gonna carry the boats? Who's gonna carry the logs? It takes a little bit of that sometimes, because you need to do things that are good for you in life. These shorts and all these little like short form content, these little hits of dopamine are frying your brain. And so I literally made fun of him in that moment, and he was just looking at me again like, the dude's crazy, but and what's funny is that he thinks that he's like that type of person, I guess, right? Just like, oh, I'm not gonna party, I'm not gonna do this, all of that type of stuff, and it's just sort of this sort of like, I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, but it's like mental. I'm just not gonna risk it and not say it because I don't want to like get the I'm not even monetized. What am I saying? I don't want to get like this video taken down or whatever. But it's like this sort of thing where you're just kind of like pleasuring yourself, but you're pleasuring your mind a little bit. I guess that's how I could say it, right? That's the mental math, whatever, right? If anybody gets it, but that's what that type of content is, and you need to stop doing that. You need to hop on the no social media life. It's better. I mean, even if you think that, I'm gonna meet girls or whatever, just meet them offline. Those are the best type of girls that you can meet if they're offline. Like, don't people are trying to date online or whatever. It's like, I guess you do you, right? I can only tell you so much. I can only tell you from my experience, right? But don't rely on social media for everything, right? And just delete it, please. Do yourself a favor. Do your future self a favor. Your future self is going to be so much more happier if you delete social media right now, right? If that's an actionable step that I can give for you, it's delete social media right now, or at least take a week break from it and see where you are. Like, even if you got a bunch of people to text, so you've got other better things to do. Again, those people are not your friends. They're just on there because you text them first and they want the validation, they want the attention, right? So break those 3 limiting beliefs. That, 1, your first limiting belief, you've got people to text on there. No, you don't. You probably have them on your phone, right? You have their phone number or whatever, right? That's the first limiting belief. Break that. Completely just destroy that from your brain. You don't have people to text on there. Use your phone, right? Text them. Talk to them in person. I literally see people, like in my class, that are they're right there, right next to each other, and they're still on their phones like a little monkey. The second limiting belief, fear of missing out, fear of seeing what people are doing. Make your own life interesting. Take up a hobby. Do something with your life. Why is your life boring? Because you don't do anything. You're just sitting on your phone all the time, just scrolling a little shorts or whatever. Third limiting belief that you're going to have to break. You think that you're going to be bored. You're not going to be bored, especially if you have things to do. Take up a hobby, I said. Do something. Do something with your life. Stop just sitting on there. Go to the gym, right? So those are the 3 limiting beliefs, right? The 3 limiting beliefs that I just completely, destroyed from my head. I forgot the first one. Hold on. The first one, you have people to text. No, you don't. The second one, fear of missing out. You're not going to miss out if you have things to do in your life. Third, you're going to be bored. You're not going to be bored if you have things to do in your life. So, yes. Break those limiting beliefs. And please stop using social media. Please stop frying your brain like a little monkey. Oh, yeah. No. Stop. Please. Do your future self a favor. Mwah.